Welcome to Ian Bagg Bought a House, a show about me, Ian Bagg, buying a house on the eastern shore of Virginia, and my mother-in-law lives in it, and we're fixing it up. It's a big old house, and it is going to be a family vacation home that my mother-in-law is the caretaker of. Today we got Doug Renfrew from Fresh Designs. We're going to talk about pools, backyards, and why you need to design it right. I'm here with Chris. Renee is on his way. He's getting his butthole fixed at the doctor. Had to get some things cauterized.
That's we'll say that. I don't know what's happening.
Is he there for him, or is he, because he's got kids, and so he's always got, he's one of those parents that actually gets them their vaccinations, so he has to go to the doctor, so he doesn't place all the vaccinations at one time. Spread them out. That's what I say. Spread them out a little bit. Don't take the kid down hard. He's a little bit small. Spread him out. But he's a good dad. That's what I like about it. He's playing with all those other kids. You don't need those. You don't need those gross diseases.
No, that's true. And I believe that's why he's actually at the doctor for his child. I know you made a joke, but
I did make a joke about Renee's butthole, but at the same time, it's serious. Renee does have a bad butthole because he likes hot dogs from the from Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, he does.
He's a big fan of the Dodger dog. He's a Dodger Dog fan. Well, Chris, to tell you about my week this week, and keep me on time today, Chris. Keep me on time. People were complaining
Correct.
that I went to 45 the other day. They're like, oh, so long, Ian, too long. Too much, Ian. Just to let you guys know, my week was fantastic. So last week, as soon as I left here, I got on a plane to Las Vegas, and I went and did a show for the Las Vegas Convention Organization, which is the people that put on all the conventions in Las Vegas, at the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club. If you haven't been to Las Vegas, the comedy club that was the nicest was Brad Garrett's. Well, guess what? Guess who just got kicked in the nuts hard? The Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club is very sweet. It's like a great room. It's in a great area. It's right in the link. You know where that big Ferris wheel thing is? It's right there. It's right on the street. It's got a great bar downstairs. They got bands playing downstairs. You go upstairs, you see comedy, you come back downstairs, boom, you're back in the thick of it. It's great. I'll be there at some point. I know I don't need to advertise for Jimmy Kimmel because he has his own TV show, but let's say Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club. Let's all go together. And then I came home for a day, and then I took off to Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh was the DVE Comedy Festival. Randy Bauman and the boys from the morning show out there, and Val put on a big night. It was me, Bill Burr, Billy Gardell, Jessica Kirson, Roy Wood Jr., and Billy Crawford from out there. And we were in the PPG Paints Arena, 7,000 people and us. And it was fantastic. And I called management afterwards, and I said, I'd like to do arenas more.
Yeah.
And they said to me, well, you can, but there's going to be 7 people there. So you can get rid of the zeros on the end, but you can't afford it, Ian. So at some point, we got to get into arenas, because I didn't ever think it was bonerific. It was so good. So good, Chris. So good. What's your biggest crowd that you've done so far, Chris?
I've only done packed comedy club shows. Whereas
so 300?
Yeah, that's the most.
No, I had more than 300 in Brea that one night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you didn't go on that one, though?
No, not the one you did. No. But I did it for other comics that aren't as fun to work with.
Who was that? Who wasn't fun?
Well, I don't want to say.
I don't want to name names.
I don't want to name names.
But that guy Andrew, he's a dick.
Yeah, that Andrew guy. What a.
Last night I did. Yesterday was Canada Day. Everybody said, what's Canada Day? Well, July 4th, it's basically Canada's July 4th. So I guess it's the day that we became our own independent country. And for Canada Day, the big celebration is at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on July 1st is when the NHL free agency draft begins. So people become free agents, and that is the best part about Canada Day, because that's when young Canadian hockey players become millionaires. And it is the best part about Canada Day. We get to see our teams have a chance before they start the season, or we get to see them blow it before the season starts. I don't know what's your favorite. I think basketball's is on the 30th, right?
The draft?
Yeah, not the draft, the free agency.
I don't know. I know that I don't know. I'm not a huge basketball. I'm more into hockey, baseball, and football.
Which out of the three, which comes first?
Right now it's baseball because my team's doing great. So hockey this year I didn't even follow as much.
Who's your team?
Kings.
No, your baseball team.
Oh, Dodgers.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know who they are.
What are they named after? So at some point in Brooklyn, there was kids that tried not to get hit by trains, and those were called Dodgers.
Yes, that's actually where it came from.
And they just tried not to get hit by trains.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like.
Yeah. No, that's exactly.
So
how
was there a group of children in Brooklyn at some point that just kept getting hit by trains?
There must have been, but that they did get their name from dodging trains. That is correct.
So why aren't they called the Los Angeles pedestrians?
I don't know.
Well, it's just stupid. Like they're dodging things that are coming at them. Let's call a baseball team that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They should be called the Brooklyn Bagels.
That would have been a pretty good name as well.
Those bagels from Brooklyn, they're out of control. If you want to get all your carbs at one time, you get a Brooklyn bagel, and you will be fucking carbalicious. Oh my god. Well, let's get going to it, Chris. Let's get. Before we start, coming up tonight, I'm at Hermosa Beach Comedy and Magic Club for the July 2nd show. Boom, baby, doom, boom. It's going to be fantastic tonight. July 3rd tomorrow, big fireworks extravaganza in our neighborhood. The Long Beach Fire Department puts that on. And we set up all over our beaches, we set up tents and stuff. And yesterday, this lady from the city came along and started ticketing us while we were sitting at the beach. And I'm just like, she goes, you got to move this stuff. And I'm like, well, we're at the beach, so this and she goes, no, you can't keep this overnight. And I'm like, it's noon. So why would you ticket us now? You should be ticketing us at night. You shouldn't be ticketing the people while they're at the beach, right? She's like, meh, 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 meh. And I'm like, okay. So I took the ticket and I just called the place and I took pictures of all the things. I'm like, you're going to take down all the local stuff here. And anyways, I complained enough and enough people complained enough. They decided not to take down all our stuff. And now we are set up at the beach and it's going to be a fireworks extravaganza. I've got edibles. And it is going to be a big, you're probably going to see a 911 call about me because I don't know if you ever see old people that do edibles. Yeah, it's going to be me just lying on the ground crying.
Are you just going to say you're dying?
I'm dying. It feels like the clock isn't moving. I might be dead. And then on Friday, I'm at the Laugh Factory early show. The late show, I'm at the Improv. And Saturday night, I'm at the Pasadena Ice House for 2 shows. So make sure you get your tickets. It's going to be a big night. I got a bunch of friends coming out and doing shows. We're going to have a great time at Pasadena Ice House. 2 shows, 8 and 10. Ice House, Pasadena. Let's get to it. This week on the show, we're going to talk about pools. A young man that I know that's come out to shows for a while, has a great company. He's always sending me videos of jobs he's doing. It's called Fresh Designs. Doug, welcome to the show. Thank you for doing it. You're in your backyard right now, first of all.
Absolutely. Enjoying the day.
And did you do your backyard? Were you the one that, or did you buy that already done?
No. This came from literally a decrepit, ancient shell of a 1971 craftsman-style house that the backyard was dilapidated, and there was nothing but a hillside filled with rubbish and pine trees and palm trees and crap. So I took it, converted it, and slowly made some progress, and voila.
Well, voila. Can you tell people what you have in your backyard? You have a pool, and I can see you have some sort of like, what is it, like a grotto? Do you have a grotto?
Yeah, exactly. So behind me, we got, let me see if I can pan that up around a little bit.
Look at that.
Let's see. So looking across, you got down the wall, and then, there's the pool. It's called a spool, actually, right? So that way you have the grotto right back in there. That's a 10-foot in diameter grotto that has a waterfall that I can turn on and show you right here real quick. Give me a second. Select. Of course, you got to do it all manual with a little, little remote, right?
Oh.
So here we go, and then you kick on the over pump, and then of course the water will feed from the top and spill into a second pool.
How long did it take you to build all this?
This came together in about
Look at that.
30
at
days.
that.
You know.
That's fun. Okay,
So,
so that looks amazing in your backyard. I'm sure you have a wonderful deck, and you got probably an outdoor kitchen, right? Do you have an outdoor kitchen?
yeah, absolutely. Got barbecue.
Oh.
Hot dog here just before you and I started tying in right here. A little barbecue with a sink, right? Got the fridge down low. Obviously the pavers, right? You got to get the pavers. So quick little tour. And then in the backyard we got a lot of the landscaping that we do. A lot of drought tolerant landscaping up on the hillside. There's another patio and a fire pit up there, and then another fire pit over here on this corner here.
My God. You must have a great July 4th party.
I didn't hear that. Say that one more time.
You must have a great July 4th party.
Yeah, well, actually behind us, we can look out over Cal Poly, and they actually have shows out there.
Oh, that's great.
So, anyway, let me shut this off so
you can hear things.
Probably pretty dang loud. So let me take it off real quick.
For the people that are listening to this show, they should check out YouTube, check out Facebook. You want to check out Doug's backyard that he's done. My description of it hasn't probably done anything justice, but if you were thinking about a backyard that you would like, this backyard is what you'd like. So a lot of fun there, and it's all remote controlled, but nothing moves. Because it's involving water, it's not going to be instantaneous. It's going to take a little bit. It's got to move around. So
well. I have 5 pumps in my system, so which handles. There's 2 booster pumps that run at the side. So, being that you're the dietitian and the exercise freak, right?
Right.
Aren't you out every morning?
Yeah, bro.
Just pedaling the sand, right? You can do it in the pool with 2 booster pumps pushing against you. So I call it a therapy school.
Oh, that's cool.
There's elevations inside that allow for a sort of a sitting bench seat to the where you step in. Also, mine, the way I did everything, where you have to take out so much dirt in ground, I raise mine up so you have a seated bench area also that you can incorporate in, seated level, less to dig, less money coming out, right?
Smart. Okay, so my questions always are, I ask people when they're on the show, is how did you end up in this business?
17 years. I started as a 17-year-old, I should say, with a company called Mirror Chase Plumbing out of Glendale, family business with plumbers and such. So started out as an apprentice, got into plumbing, did that for 4 years, turned out, got into a business with my cousin. That went for a few years until I decided to do my own plumbing. So I've been in plumbing my whole life. So everything I look at visually when I come to look at a house is I kind of x-ray it real quick in my mind how this is plumbed, how it's running, the electrical's running, so you can make observations and tell a customer that's impossible or it's absolutely doable. Versus, well, I'm gonna have to go in the attic, I'm gonna have to go in those walls, I have to open up walls. You shouldn't have to do all that.
Right. Well, that's great. Question for you: what is the biggest mistake a new pool owner makes?
They think it's about price.
So they try to go cheap, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's not always about. It's about getting what you want to pay for. It's not about the cost of the actual construction. Rebar is what rebar cost is, right?
Right.
Concrete is what concrete cost is. Can you pump it for cheaper? Sure. Do you have a pump? You can. That's a cost that you can deduct out of the equation. But otherwise, the majority of the time, cost is cost. The only way you're going to save it is in your labor. You're not going to do a union guy, right? Union guy's going to cost you an arm and a leg. You're going to have someone that's a non-union, but it's going to be a contractor that's licensed, obviously, and bonded. Sure.
You brought up rebar and cement. Do you always do cement pools, or do you ever do fiberglass pool? We
gunite, so it's always rebar then gunite, and then
sorry.
come back over with different types of plaster. Gunite is a sand cement mixture that you blow into the pool, and it creates a hard, basically a bond beam around the entire structure of the pool, holds it in place, keeps the integrity of the pool.
I see. So you prefer that over one of those pre-made fiberglass pools? You've seen those?
You know what? I do, because you can't, the molds that are available, with very simplicity. If you're just going to be a lap swimmer, right? And you want a couple of jets, sure, you could drop in a 14 by, 10 or something swim in place spa pool, and it would be quite a bit cheaper, sure, obviously. But you're not going to get the design aspect of the backyard and the landscaping. You can add it, but you're just going to have to put that sort of configuration into it. It's kind of a big deal.
Right. When buying a house and there's already a pool in that backyard, what are the chances you're going to have to repair it, replace it? Are usually when you buy a house, you're going to have, and it's got a pool, you're going to have to do something to it. Am I wrong?
50%, sure. Usually the integrity of a pool stays. If it's been built correctly, the integrity stays. It's all about the finish. Replaster, retile, recoping, re-patio deck it, right? You might concrete it, you might paver it, you might put some Trex deck down or something along that line, some plastic type decking.
What's the biggest pool you've done?
I'm sorry?
What's the biggest pool you've done? Like how big?
Size-wise?
Yeah.
I did a pretty neat pool in Laguna that was it was a giant lap pool. The guy was an ex-swimmer that wanted to get his groove on early in the morning, so he came right off the back door with a short piece of concrete with some synthetic turf so he could stretch and then dive straight into the pool. And it was probably 45 feet by 15 feet wide, but it overlooked. It had a nice sheer edge, so nice. It had a real great view of the Bay of Laguna right there. So it was quite striking. But that was probably the largest pool I've done. I try to incorporate a lot of the spools and that idea because.
I'm sorry, we lost you there. You just cut out. You cut out. We missed the last part.
A lot of okay. Irvine, those areas are so small. Those backyards are so little that you don't have room for a giant pool, and you still have to make use of a backyard space. So that's where I come into the creativity side, is to figure out how to make it work best without, tearing out the house and making the budget so extreme.
Right. Salt water or chlorine?
Well, this is a saltwater pool. Now, remember, salt is a basis that it makes up the chlorine, in the pool itself. So there's ionizers in the pool itself that you have the water system running through that creates that salt system. You can have just a basis chlorine pool. It's to me, it's the feeling that comes out on your body. Chlorine, you come out a little bit itchier, I think, versus salt system, you come out a little smoother, a little softer, more like a soft water system.
Ah, interesting. So it's not a cheaper thing; it's just a feeling thing, right? It's.
Yeah, I mean, really, the
same
salt,
price.
There's a salt generator. It's $1,000 extra maybe that you include into the system. But now the Pentair units actually have it built into the panel. I mean, they used to be built into. You had to put them in line of the piping. Mm-hmm. Now, instead of in line of the piping, now what you're doing is it's in the panel, and it actually runs up through the panel, and it runs through the system. It's the innovations that the pools have come up with, the LED lighting, the cool optics that you can do with stuff, sound. Mm-hmm. It's pretty neat.
Do you go to a convention or something once a year to find out what's new and what's going on, or do people come out and say, hey, they come out to your business and say, we've got this going on and you should try it? And
always contact me, and we can always direct it. They can contact us, and we can direct them to their local pool and or area, because it's too much information to just kind of hand to somebody. It's really kind of a research thing. Right. Everybody should do their. I mean, I can tell you what I would do and why I would do it, but there's other options that I have no reason to try or use. So certain things that I like everybody to try to, do their own research a little bit. I can
Do
give
your
them pointers.
diligence.
Yeah, due diligence is a must. A must.
Okay, so if I'm thinking about getting a pool, what are the 5 things I should know?
So 5 things you should know is the city ordinances and variances, right? You need to know how far off you can go on your setbacks, right? Most important.
City rules.
So I know that you had talked about sticking your pool directly on the back perimeter of the fences, everything you can get. Well, you can't do that. You have to have there's easements and or like Southern California Edison might have an easement that you have a setback from. So you got to really be cognizant of that. You would get that information from your local city building inspectors or building permitting area. You'll go in there and you give them your address and say, I want to know the setbacks.
Oh, we've lost. Oh,
Foremost, yeah, you don't want to build your pool I don't want to build my pool on property and later on have a dispute and then you got to rip it down because it's not in your property or in your area.
So number 1 is rules.
Number two, cost and budget in mind.
Budget.
Cost and budget in mind is huge. What happens is everybody goes, oh, I want a pool just like that. I should have that pool. And then they go, oh, yeah, but I'm on a hill. Well, you're on a hill. You know what put up structural engineering, build structural engineering and walls, stem wall footings to support this 80,000 gallon pool, 40,000 gallon pool, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. There's engineering and everything's involved. So that's all about costs and parameters. Keep that into check. You can't have Tony Stark's pool. It's not possible. Okay, so I think
way to ruin everybody's wants.
Not on my budget anyway. But anyway, that would be a dream pool if you could have that, right, overlooking that huge thing. It's doable with the right amount of dough. If you got the cash, everything is possible. But if
you got the cash, everything is possible. Yeah. Number 3.
Exactly. 3. Prepare for change orders. Guaranteed change orders. You're gonna say, "Oh man, Steve's house, and Steve had the baddest tiki torches. Oh, I didn't have tiki torches. Can we get some tiki torches?" Hey, Ian, we already put the concrete down. Where do you want me to put the gas? How do you want me to run the gas to get to those tiki torches? Right. Oh, you're going to use those cheesy little propane ones? Okay, all right. Well, you can go that route, but that's the after fact. That's after the case. That's why they build that stuff, because you weren't ahead of the game.
Right. Okay.
So,
Number 4,
you have to have a material idea of what you're getting. Materials. You have to have an idea of aesthetics. What are you trying to achieve? Right? What is your scope? What are you trying to be modern? Are you trying to be what are you trying to be?
Right.
Beachy, sandy, whatever your deal is. You got to figure out what your motif is.
And number 5, I can answer for you. Check with your wife.
Absolutely, because whoever's writing the check, unless anybody knows, she's writing the bills and she's checking.
Absolutely, yeah. She knows how much money's coming out of the account.
Right,
so check with your wife.
When you drop that bomb saying, "Hey, honey, I just put a deposit on that pool for $40,000," and she says, "Well, you better get another job," I suggest you double check.
Okay. One last question: when is the best time of year to start looking at doing a pool?
There is never a bad time in SoCal, right? We know that. We have almost 300 days a year of sun. So pick a time. It doesn't really matter. It really comes down to, like I said, it really comes down to an idea, having a forethought of what you're going to do or why you're going to do it. Mm-hmm. If you're not going to, it's got to fit your parameter. It's got to be something that you want, or don't even bother, because all you're doing is wasting somebody's time to come out and give you some ideas that you can't even fit the budget that you're dreaming of. So, have it in retrospect. You have to keep it in.
Sounds good. Doug, tell everybody how to get a hold of you and your company, and if they want to check out your Instagram, tell them how, because you've always got some sort of job going on, and you can watch Doug's stuff. So let them know.
Absolutely, it's Tecton Group is who it is. Fresh Designs is what I use as my call sign. That just kind of tells what I'm doing. It's a fresh design job. That's kind of my signature. But But
1 second, you just froze up. Wait, did we just lose him?
I hope not.
I hope we didn't. Give us 1 second. You're just frozen right now. He's telling everybody to fuck off. He's got that look on his face.
Doug, are you there?
Oh, we lost him. Oh, no. Just as he's about to.
Oh, man.
Can we call him back?
Yeah, let me.
Okay, we're going to call him back. Here's the deal on this show. We talk to people via Skype, and 5G isn't a thing yet. So we haven't. I don't know. We lose them every so often, don't we? We lose some people. So Chris is going to get him back on the line. I think we learned a lot about pools. But you see that pool and you just go, I want that. But you have to realize Doug has a business where he makes these, so he can, do that. So you have to, like he said, come up with your budget. You have to come up with your what you want it built out of. You want to do all that research. Oh, looking at myself, I'm beautiful. I'm
my
beautiful.
bad.
Doug isn't online. That's what it said. Doug isn't online. Tecton, what was it?
I can't quite remember, but let me just make sure of something else.
By the way, I'm wearing the Raptors hat, just to let people know I'm not a basketball fan. I'm a Canadian fan, and Canada won the basketball championship, so I'm wearing the hat.
So according to, there's a couple of things. So Patricia Frank says, have a safe fourth. Ian?
Are we not getting back? Are we not going to be able to get back to Doug?
I may not be able to get back to him right now.
Okay, so when we will put it on our page, and I will put it in the we'll put all his information in the thing, right?
Correct.
Okay, so thanks, Doug. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for talking pools with us. I don't know about anybody else that really wants a pool, but I was chubbed up about that pool in the background, so it's pretty good. Oh, God damn it. Good damn it. That would be a lot of fun when that grotto, the water started coming down on it. He's sitting up there and he's eating a hot dog. Oh, my fucking God. That is what I want. That is what I want. Come on, Paul and Joe. I need a pool, and you can make it so. Okay, back to you.
I was going to try and get... Well, no, I was just trying... there's a couple of fans. Someone said July 6th was the basketball free agency.
July 6th, but they were doing it the other day. Like they said, they spent $3 billion for free agency.
That might be. They have the deadline. Might be the 6th, because the Lakers are doing a ton of moves right now, which I'm pretty excited. I like the Lakers, and but
I'm a Clippers fan. I like the underdog.
Yeah, they've been better for anyway. But I had a couple of fans. Sarah Newberger, is there a height requirement above sea level for an in-ground pool?
Ooh, good question.
Don't know, and I wish I could have had Doug still.
We can ask. I can send that question to Doug, and actually we can put that up there and have Doug answer the question. Sorry that we didn't. Renee wasn't here to run questions today because he was getting his butthole looked at. So we didn't have that for you. Okay. So any other questions before we get going?
So Christine. Coelho, you should come to Turlock, a whole clan of Renfros. That she's responding to there's like a bunch of Christopher Renfro was in there. There's another Renfro in this world. They're just excited about the fact that
there's somebody with that lady with the last name that we couldn't pronounce is excited about the Renfros.
Yes.
Renfros. Well, that's awesome.
And she also said that she wasn't. No.
Oh, there's Doug.
Hold on 1 second.
There you are. We lost you for a second there. Oh my goodness. That's okay. We were trying to wrap it up, and we're like, oh, where I guess he's gone. We did get a question about pools, and Chris, this thing's gone into some sort of group chat. Do you want to check out the front here?
I noticed that. Oh, what happened? Oh, that was my bad. Sorry.
Way to go, Chris. You blanked out your face. The question was, is there a height requirement above sea level for a pool?
You could stick it anywhere you want.
That's what I say. Stick it anywhere you want.
As long as it's wet.
As long as it's wet, you can stick it where you want. If it's not, you haven't been invited.
That job we're doing up in Berkeley, right? Like you've seen those pictures. Okay, so those palm trees that we're digging in the ground, we're right there at the sea level, right there in the ferry area for the ferries that go to Alcatraz Island and stuff. That's where that little.
Oh, really?
That little wharf is right there. Yeah, so people come in and jump off that ferry, but we're right at water's level. So when we dig down 4.5 feet, we have what we call pumping, which is water coming in from the ground or bottom and oozing up. So you have to kind of be aware of the depth that you are at. But yeah, it's you would just shore it up and you would just pump it. No big deal.
Nice. Sarah, put your pool wherever you feel like. That's what you've just learned. So give everybody your socials and how to get a hold of you if they want to hire you and all that.
So you can, like I said, you can catch me. Phone number. I mean, you suggest it?
I would just put your website out there if you guys have a website.
Yeah, exactly. So it's Tectons, tectons.net is where you're going to find it, and it's Tecton Group, TEKTONGROUP, Tecton Group, and that is going to be the website to go chase down. You'll find it just under there.
Cool. And we'll also make sure we get it off you so we can post it right in the section where this posts, so they will be able to go. And do you want to put out your Instagram so they can follow you, or do you want to?
Yeah, sure. It's Racer1698, or I should say Racer_1698. We just kind of go out and have some fun and do some landscaping at the same time. So
you do a lot of you love the out and you like to go dirt biking and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I race off road, so I love the desert racing. So the Mexico and the Baja 500 and the Baja 1000 and Parker and everything, or Las Vegas, and just love that desert lifestyle.
Have you ever been in the middle of a race and seen something and go, oh, I got to stop and get a picture of that because I'd like to design that someplace?
You know what? I don't think that's ever come across my mind in the heat of battle, so I think it's more like...
Guys, I'm going to come in last because I found something I want to make some money off of.
It's pretty funny. Scott, Scott Yancey, he actually has a race truck. The old guy from Las Vegas Flip a Home thing.
Oh, really?
He actually got out there and he's been racing a little bit. He fell in love and hit the off-road bug, and he's digging it now. So you can always turn people into it. You should come out one time with us. You'd probably have a really good time. And
my problem with some of these things is
no time.
No time, but also I'm just like, fuck, if I like it, there goes my budget for doing everything else. That's right. So I'm just like, and that's how life happens. You're like, well, I can do this, or I can do this. I can do this, or I can do this. And what if I like this more, but I still have all this over here? So that would love to come out, but I've really have been one of those things. I'm like, so yeah.
Remember who writes the check again, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Who holds that checkbook?
Well, thanks, Doug. I got to wrap it up. We got to get going. I thank you so much for being on the show. People, we're going to put up your website and people can get a hold of you. Congratulations on your wonderful backyard. I think I said before while we weren't on the air with you, we're all jealous. We're all a little jealous, so fantastic. I
appreciate that. I look forward to seeing you over here in Brea.
Yes. I'll be in Ontario at the Improv late July, so if you want to come out and see a show out in July in Ontario, different type of crowd. It's Bobby Lee put up a video. He was there a couple weeks ago, and a brawl broke out in the middle of his show. So
there's no doubt about that, man. Yeah. I've seen some serious stuff
at the intersection of 10 and 15. I also call it Mongol and Hell's Angels. That's where So thank you so much, bud. Have a great day.
Thanks, man. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye. Thank you guys for listening to the show. We had a great time. Send all your questions to us. Tell us if you'd like somebody that you would like on the show. I'm looking for experts. I'm looking for flooring experts. I'm looking for plumbers. I'm looking for people that do anything with housing. I have a guy that is an auctioneer. He auctions houses. He's going to be coming on the show. We've had the mortgage guy on. We're looking for people that would like to talk about this. I'm trying to get Adam Carolla to come on because he knows everything. So thank you so much for listening. Check me out this week. Go to ianbagg.com for all your Ian Bagg needs. Get your mini pearl shirts there, blah, blah, blah. Thank you, Chris and Renee. Renee's not here because he's getting his butthole checked. But thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. We'll see you next week.